Hi, I'm Rebecca Harris, and welcome to this edition of Faces and Places. Every year at this time of the year, I start thinking about the Crisis Center of Russell County. It's a very, very close cause to me. I had some personal experiences with a family member that had to go into a shelter, and because of that, it has just become something that means a lot to me because I've seen the good that comes out of a person going into the shelter and getting some help. And it also has brought out to me some very, very good friends.
Yes.
Janie Potts. We have known each other for a long time now.
Quite a few years.
Well, I'm very, very proud of the work that you do at
Thank
the
you.
Crisis Center.
Thank you.
And the other ladies that work there. It's just a tremendous gift for you to be able to do what you do because the intensity of dealing with the people who come to the shelter every day. So I'd like to give you an opportunity to talk to us a little bit about yourself.
Oh.
Because, like I said, it takes a very special person to be able to do this. So what made you decide that you wanted to go into this line of work?
Well, I personally don't do hands-on as much as the team that I work with. The team that I work with, they're just phenomenal, being at the shelter 24/7. I'm now the sexual assault coordinator, and my heart's just kind of there because the people that I deal with now are victims that it wasn't their choice,
Right.
and it's just so sad to see this being going on in the community and everything. So my heart was just with the people that I get to work with and try to help and guide. And the team that I work with is just, like I said, they're fabulous. I bring these, if I have a victim and I bring them to the shelter, they're just welcomed. And, then our court advocates step in and help guide these people with what they need to do or what they may want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big team effort. It really is.
Well, I know that you don't really get the credit, and the staff doesn't really get the credit for what they do because you can't really talk about what you do.
No, not as much. We have a real, tight, HIPAA law
Right.
that we got to keep everything secret. And, we're good to do that because a lot of times when there is a victim of domestic violence or sexual assault, the abuser's out looking for them.
Right.
So we keep a real tight lid on where they are.
And the confidentiality
Yes,
is
ma'am.
so important.
Yes.
And building trust and letting these ladies know that they're going to a safe place and that they won't be found.
Correct. And that's one of the biggest fears when you're meeting the people for the first time, to get them to trust you, to understand that we're here for them and that we won't let anything happen to them as best as our ability. And we work real we work real well with the police department, the Phoenix City Police Department and the Russell County Sheriff's Department. They know us all. I told them I have them on speed dial, and they're very, very helpful with us as well, with our victims and everything.
We are so lucky here in Phoenix City to have a shelter like this because some towns do not have a shelter. They do not have any place for a woman to go to.
Correct.
If she needs help. And sometimes if you're not in a certain county, you just don't
You
get
don't have help. Yeah.
So we are very, very fortunate to have this shelter.
Well, way back in the day, over, I think I want to say 27 years ago, there was a group that formed the shelter, and one of the ladies was Ruth Ann Powers, and our district attorney now, Ken Davis, he was an attorney, and they put this all together. So we've had a shelter here for over 20-some years, but a lot of people just didn't know where it was, and it's been on a roller coaster ride. We've had a shelter with 3 or 4 beds, then we went to just 1, and now we can house up to 20.
Wow.
And we take in, mainly in our shelter, it's women and children. And this past week we've been to full capacity.
That is amazing.
It is. And it's sad that we have to be here, but I'm glad that we are for people, And my heart goes to the children too, because they don't know what's going on, but yet they hear and see things that most children shouldn't see.
That's right. And I think that it helps them also to be someplace where other children have experienced the same thing. And they develop relationships with them. I've seen this happen before, and that's also a big benefit. So if you're out there and you are being abused, there is a place here in Phoenix City where you can get help. So Janie, let's walk through this. Let's just say that one of our friends out there has come to the conclusion that she has to get away. She has to have help. What is the first step that she would take?
I seriously do feel that they need to call the police if they're in a threatening situation. But if there's a chance that they can call us, we have a hotline, 24-hour hotline. It's 334-297-4401. And it's, like I said, 24 hours, 7 days a week, holidays, whatever, we're there for them. And, if they call us first and explain the situation, then we help them get out and we can help them get there. We try to give them a little bit of heads up if they can. Put a little bag in the closet, throw a few clothes in there, maybe put some important paperwork like your birth certificate and stuff in there, because a lot of times when they get to us, we will possibly do a protection order for them, or if they want to file charges, we have an Alabama legal aid that helps them. We try to give them a little bit of a heads up, but we get them out as soon as we can.
Well, I know sometimes it takes planning.
Yes.
And
if they can.
And to try to be smart about it. So if you need to just talk to somebody about it first, and come up with your plan, then that's very helpful. But if you cannot do that and it's an emergency situation and you can't remember that number, then just call 911 and they will help you through the steps to get in touch with the center.
Correct. And the police and the sheriff's department, they know where we are. They will contact us, and we meet them wherever, and we get we'll get them into our shelter. And there's some paperwork and stuff that we got to fill out, but that's everywhere. But we will, get them to our shelter. And we do have people that if they run out at the last minute, because that's the only time they can get out, they may only have the clothing that they're wearing. I call it the Macy's of Phoenix City. We do have a clothing bank, and we've been given through the United Way, we've been given the bras and panties that they need, and socks, and we have little kids clothing and men's clothing. So we do, help them with some of the clothing. And then we help people, we try to empower them, and we get them back on their feet and work with them, possibly help them with the resume if they've never had that, help them with their banking if they've never done that, help them find housing. A lot of these people come in and they've never experienced normal, if you want to call it normal, things that we all do. So we try to help them and empower them and show them that they're worth a lot, better than what they're getting. So,
well, I know that you have people from all walks of life, and you're prepared for that. So that's amazing, because you have to have some independence after you leave a situation like that. So y'all don't just keep them there for 2 or 3 days and then just say, okay, go out there and live.
Correct.
So I'm very, very proud of you guys for what you do. And it takes a community to do this work. So tell us how you guys are funded, because I know with having women and children there 24 hours a day, there's a lot of expense in taking care of them. And also tell us how the community can help you with that.
Well, I will put a needs list up of some of the items that we do need. Clothing, we're kind of putting a hold on that for right now, because we've moved into a different office and we're trying to get the space to put everything out. But we are funded by some of the federal and state grants that are funding me for going out and doing the community work and talking about the sexual assault and the domestic violence and stuff. But without this community and everybody pulling together and helping us, donating their time in our office, because we can't afford more workers and sitting at our front desk answering our phones. We have companies that hold different events for us. We just had the Buffalo Soldiers did a car wash, and we received a lot of the proceeds. And Saturday, I was able to go and accept this big giant check.
Wow.
And it was really fabulous to see hundreds of people come together and donate to us. So we always accept money. Food, canned goods, non-perishable things. You don't realize what you have to go through when you have 20 guests in your home, and that's, toilet paper, paper towels,
Right.
Dishwashing liquid, clothes,
Detergent.
detergent, just so many things that people just don't realize what we do, and we don't charge our residents anything, because we're trying to help them get back on their feet. So, but we have a clothes mentor. He's over in Columbus at the airport thruway. On the 29th. He's having a grab bag sidewalk sale for us, and that is so much fun. We enjoy that. You come over, give us $20, you get a bag, and you can put as many clothes in it as you can. And I tell people, roll the clothes real tight so you can fit them in the bag.
That's a great idea.
They are, and Mr. Hall that owns the Clothes Mentor, he's giving me looks, but we just, anything you can find on the sidewalk and get it in your bag. Belts, they have shoes, purses, all kinds of fun things. So we really have fun with the people that do help us.
And when is that?
That is September 29th from 10 o'clock till 6 o'clock, and it's on Airport Thruway. So, we'll be sitting outside on the sidewalk with a pile of clothes, and he has very, very nice designer clothes.
Wow.
So,
all right. So I know that in the fall you always have a lot of different things going on. So tell me a little bit more about it.
Well, this year our president of our board of directors for the Crisis Center, Dr. Stephen Cooper, was looking at everything we did in one day for the past few years, and that was always the end of October, because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is our purple ribbon.
Yes,
and
I remembered that.
You remembered that. And so he said, hey, let's paint the town purple and have the whole month Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we're kicking it off on October 7th at 6 o'clock at the Phoenix City Amphitheater. We're having a candlelight vigil for all those that have experienced domestic violence, who have died through domestic violence. It's just a very, very sad, I think it's nonsense, but it's a sad, sad situation that a lot of people are in. And we have Mayor Eddie Lowe, who's going to do a proclamation for the month declaring it
That's great.
Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We have State Representative Chris Blackshear, who's going to come and talk. We have a victim that's going to talk about what she went through. And then the Phillips Temple Church will be handing out the candles, and he'll do a little service as well for us. And we're hoping to have some musical guests, a choir or whatnot, come and sing as well. But that's all going to be on the 7th of October at 6 o'clock at the amphitheater. And we're just hoping to get churches and all types of community people to come and support us that day.
Well, it is a very emotional experience. I've been to it several times. I was a speaker for it one time, and it's a very emotional experience, like I said, but it's also healing for some of the people who come to it, because they can actually see that there's other people out there that have experienced it and that are supporting them in the community. So I hope you'll put that on your calendar for October 7th at 6 p.m. to come to the Phoenix City Amphitheater, which is located at 508 Dillingham Street in Phoenix City.
You know that.
It's an absolutely beautiful setting for this.
It is. It is.
And I commend you for continuing to do it, because like I said, I have had women come up to me afterwards and thank the city for allowing you guys to do that at the amphitheater, because it's such a peaceful, beautiful place for this to happen. And I've had them say, this just really touched my heart.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of planning to do something like this, so I hope you guys will come out and support this on October 7th.
Yes.
And if you have any questions about it, I'm sure Janie will be able to answer those questions.
Exactly. Yeah, you can call our business office. It's 334-297-4435. And you can call and talk to anyone, but you can ask for me as well. I'm extension 205. But that's the kickoff for our Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we hope that everybody can attend that. Then the next Saturday, the 13th, PTAP of Columbus, Georgia, at their facility, at their business, they're having a cruise in, and we're hoping to raise money for the Crisis Center on that date. and it's going to be a lot of fun. Probably old cars, new cars, just showing off what they have. There will probably be music. There's food that's going to happen, and we're having a reverse raffle that night. And some of the prizes, are going to be big and some are going to be little. So you never know what you're going to win, but we're going to have a raffle that night as well. And then the next morning, the Phillips Temple CME Church on Holsey Street in Phoenix City, they're going to have a church service for us, and that's about 10:30. And then on the 20th is Dr. Cooper's project, Wine, Women, Chocolate, and Fashion, and it's going to be at Troy University. I'm not positive on the time though for it, so stay tuned. Okay. And then on the 27th is our usual fall festival at Hollywood Connection. This year we decided to focus on the children, and hopefully we're going to have some children vendors there that to sell their jewelry or whatever, and we're going to have food vendors and just have it a good old fall festival over there with bales of hay, and hopefully we can do the maze with that, and just we have a kids costume party, and Hollywood Connection is awesome to host this for us, and it's from 11 to 4 on the 27th. So we have just a lot of stuff coming up.
How many times have you done the festival so far?
I want to say 7. I think it's like our 7th or 8th year for this. They've been just fabulous. They supply the prizes for the best kids costume contest. And last year we had over, I'm going to say 150 to 200 kids that came. And all the vendors are going to be having candy so the kids can, walk around. But there were just some beautiful little Dorothy's from the Wizard of Oz with Toto and stuff like that. So, the kids really had a good time, and we're going to have games and archery and stuff like that day. So it's going to be a good old-fashioned fall festival.
And it'll be a safe environment for the children to come to. So y'all please put that on your calendar and bring your children to it.
Yes.
And if you have any little neighbor children, bring them too.
Bring everybody.
Yes, just bring the whole family.
Absolutely.
It'll be a lot of fun, and it's for a very good cause.
Yes. And one other thing I just remembered at the Women, Wine, Chocolate, and Fashion at Troy, we have a purple bag because of her, she doesn't sponsor the domestic violence part, but it's Serena Williams. It's her purple bag that we got that we're going to auction off that day. And it's just beautiful. It's leather. It's almost kind of like a briefcase or something like that. But Serena Williams signed it, and it's going to be really cool to auction that off. And it's purple.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Now, how about the poker run? Are you still doing that?
Oh yes, ma'am. That makes me
favorite.
tickle. Yeah. We are so excited because April is the Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and that's teal, and so that's our teal ribbon. And we're going to have it April 6th, and I think this year we're going to start and end it at the Board of Realtors on Crawford Road.
Okay.
And we have live music there when you get there. Judge Gray and attorney Jamie Graham, they usually supply the pizza and the barbecue for us, for everybody, so that's free. It's just, we have some vendors there, and it's just so much fun. And also that month, Omaha Brewing Company will sponsor the Crisis Center as well for the Sexual Assault Awareness Month. They will have a beverage there at their facility, and anytime you buy that during the month, we get total proceeds for that.
Wow.
And that may be one of the stops on our poker run, to stop down there. So it's just, we just can't do this without the community.
Right. And it's such a beautiful thing to see the community come together. And
Yes.
And some of these people have been helping you guys out for years, but if you want the opportunity for your business or your church group or your club, or if you just want to do it as an individual basis to help out the Crisis Center, then just give Janie a call.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure she'll be happy to set you up so that you can do that.
More than happy. We'd be very appreciative. We have, like you said, regular groups. The American Legion help us with annual, they sponsor a lot of our different programs.
Right.
The Board of Realtors, they allow us to hold functions there for us. The Exchange Club, they sponsor many of our events. The Rotary, they help give to the Crisis Center as well. There's just so many people that really help us that like I said, it's a community affair. It really is.
That's one of the things that I love about Phoenix City is when there is a cause and they see a real need, the people in this community do step up.
Yep,
So
they do.
kudos to you guys.
Yeah, yay. We appreciate you. We really do. We do.
All right.
So-
Well, I want to take this down just a little bit. I wanted to say that, and this is hard for me to say, my sister was a victim of domestic violence, and she did try many, many, many times to get away from her husband who was abusing her, and he would always find her. And she did actually get away from him. She moved to another town, and then he talked her into coming back. And so it was to handle business, he said. So when she came back, he shot and killed her. And so I have given this speech many times about what happened to her, because I want people to realize it's not just what happened to her, it's what happened to the entire family. Because he would threaten her with, I will hurt the family if you don't do what I want you to do. Or that he would hurt her daughter if you do not do what I want you to do, is what he would tell her. And then he would always say, every time after he abused her, I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again.
Exactly.
And this is something that you cannot believe. So, ladies and children out there, if you are being abused and you need help, it's here.
Absolutely.
So, having experienced that, it changed my niece's life, because the same day that my brother-in-law killed my sister, he also killed himself afterwards because of the shame of what he had done. And so my niece lost both of her parents in one day. And I've got to say, the community stepped up and helped our family, but some of that help came too late, because at the time that she was trying to get into a shelter in another town, they didn't have one. So she moved someplace else and they had one, but it was full. So this situation is very, very serious. And there are so many people out there that keep it a secret and don't get the help that they need because they're ashamed, they don't know about it, they're afraid. There's so many different components in why you'd make a decision not to get help. But I'm telling you, please, if you're being abused, come to the shelter and get help, because you deserve it. You don't have to live the way that you're living if you're being abused. God will take care of you, and these beautiful ladies here will take care of you.
Absolutely. And just, you made a note that it was full and she couldn't get in. If there is a problem that we are full, we call the neighboring shelters and we find some place for them to get safe help. So we will never say, we're too full, go away. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
This happened several years ago
Yeah.
in a different city. And, like I said, I'm living out in the country right now, and there is no shelter anywhere in that county. So I really do appreciate the fact that we have one right here in Phoenix City.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So, Janie,
Thank you.
I want to thank you for taking time to come and talk to us today.
Thank you.
And you guys, please get out and support these activities, because they're fun, but they're also for a very, very good cause. And we appreciate everything that you do to support people when they're in need. And again, Janie, I want to thank you for joining me on Faces and Places, where you never know whose face you'll see.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us, and hope to see you all at everything.
All right. So you never know whose face you'll see, Janie Potts.
Right.
And you never know which place will be. So thank you for joining us. Until next time.